got a Dragon Quest 1 and 2 reproduction cart for the SNES for Christmas, and I've been dying to talk about it. It was purchased from OCD Reproductions.com, and while he doesn't accept PayPal or other easier payment options, the selection is fantastic, the prices are reasonable, and the owner was more than helpful in working things out. And the end result is definitely high quality. This is as sharp or sharper than any other reproduction cart I've seen. Dragon Quest is a respected, venerated series of role-playing games that's been around since 1986. But in America, they were known as Dragon Warrior at first. My first exposure to the series was to Dragon Warrior on the NES. The best way I can think of to describe this game is that it's basically baby's first Japanese-style RPG, which is ironic considering the game was heavily influenced by Wizardry, one of the original role-playing video game series which was developed entirely in the West. The game features one-on-one combat. You only ever control one character, and you only fight one enemy at a time. You can cast spells, buy and upgrade equipment, talk to villagers to get hints on what to do next, explore dungeons, it's all here. But what I didn't know then was that Japan got an upgraded version for Super Famicom, and better yet, it included the sequel, Dragon Quest II. Now I beat Dragon Warrior when I was a child, but I never played Dragon Warrior 2, so half of this will be familiar, and half will be totally new to me. Now, due to technical difficulties, I was not able to record gameplay from my reproduction cart. I used a ROM and an emulator instead, but the differences between it and the actual cart are negligible. A few of the enemy names are different, things like that. The graphics aren't that much upgraded from the NES, honestly. After seeing games like Final Fantasy III and Chrono Trigger, you'd think that the SNES would be capable of better than this. The sound and music are improved much more substantially, though that battle fanfare hasn't gotten any less irritating. The dungeons are bigger, I think they doubled the size of them, and the torches and light spells seem to last longer. And you can finally just walk onto the stairs to walk down them, instead of having to pick stairs from a menu. What a concept! The biggest improvement, I think, comes from the reduced grinding. Don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of grinding required, but it feels like far less than it used to be. I have memories of many hours of endless battles, being bored out of my spastic kid mind, wondering when the hell I'd finally reach the next level or get the gold pieces needed to buy that next piece of armor. Your goal is to save the princess, which sounds awfully familiar, and stop the Dragon Lord. So you wander the land fighting slimes and drakies, getting gradually stronger equipment, learning gradually stronger and more useful spells. You may need a walkthrough, as often there is precisely one person in the entire world who has the information you need to find the item you're looking for. And if you're looking for in-depth strategy in combat, you won't find it here. Aside from one enemy being susceptible to a flute, pretty much every enemy in the game, even the final boss, can be easily defeated by attacking every turn until your health falls below 30%, then cast a heal spell. Rinse and repeat. That said, it is a short and charming RPG, and if you want to introduce someone to Japanese RPGs, there are certainly worse options. And that overworld music will be stuck in my head for the rest of time. Dragon Quest II, on the other hand, is a totally brand new experience for me, and I'm sorry I didn't play this as a kid. I might have given RPGs more of a chance. It's a much larger world, and you get a full party of 3 characters this time around, and you can fight diverse groups of enemies, and the dungeons are no longer dark, and the battle theme isn't as annoying, and there's a slot machine minigame you can play to win better items, and the fights are a bit more challenging, and there's an actual scene to introduce the plot instead of just 3 paragraphs of exposition. Basically, I like Dragon Quest II a lot more. I have not beaten it yet, but I certainly plan on it. In a nutshell, Dragon Quest I is good, but Dragon Quest II is great, and getting to play both on my Super Nintendo is a real thrill. Thanks again to OCDReproductions.com for making the purchase a pleasant one. I'd once again recommend checking them out if you're into reproduction carts. He's got a great selection at reasonable prices. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some metal slimes to kill.